What is up, guys? Joker here. I wanted to go ahead and make a video for you on Magic Legends, the Magic the Gathering based ARPG, where essentially you're playing as a planeswalker and you're going through the world, essentially assisting people, conquering dungeons, so on, right? I wanted to go ahead and make a video on a little bit of the gameplay as well as kind of an explanation of why I'm really not going to be playing it until there are some changes. So it's going to be kind of a review, kind of a rant, right? The first thing I want to go ahead and start with is kind of positives. I don't want to start on that negative note, right? So I'll go ahead and start with some of the positives, essentially being the beauty of the familiars, right? The creatures, the spells, they all look really, really good. So that's a huge plus for me. The fact that the creatures look amazing. And sometimes in games where you can get familiars, they'll look like trash, and that's kind of sad. But you always want those cool looking familiars, right? So that's one of the big pluses for me. As you can see, I am a level 22 Beast Caller. So I've played for a little bit, right? And I've tested out most of the things in the game. So apart from the creatures looking good, I wanted to go ahead and jump to the next thing, which is going to be the world map. The fact that you get the waypoints, the fact that it is an open world where you can see other players, team up with other players to take down skirmishes, and once one appears, you'll see it. But pretty much a world boss, and then it would be that you can go ahead and kill that, get the rewards from that. So it's an open world, which I always like. And the fact that, like I said, they have these skirmishes, they have these tower defenses. They show you where all the dungeons are, take away that guessing aspect of trying to figure out where it is. That's all a really big plus on my side. Apart from that, the next thing that I would have to hit it on is kind of this your ability bars, right? It's kind of a neat little system that I like, where you can go ahead and you can use it to gain a temporary buff, help you regen mana. Once you go ahead and let me try to get full here in a second. Once it is full, what you can go ahead and do is you can go ahead and use pretty much an ultimate ability where if I can get it full here in a second. Is there any creatures around me? Um, but yeah, you can go ahead and use your class's ultimate ability. Oh, okay, there's not enough creatures to kind of fill my bar. So never mind, I won't do that because that would take too long for me to try to find the creatures and continue. But apart from that, besides those two pluses, most of the other aspects of the game, I'd have to give a thumbs down just for various reasons. Unfortunately, most of this is going to be negative just because there's few things that they actually hit right. The key bindings are kind of terrible. Rebinding isn't really an option. There has been a lot of crashes. Now, I do get that it is an open beta, but still, it just feels like it's not something that should have even been put in beta yet, just because it feels kind of clunky. The movement is super clunky. The fact that you can't really move your attack move off of your movement skill. You can't have move and attack on different keys. The fact that the combat is unengaging and clunky. Like, look, that's going to be my main skill, and it's just, it's not fluent. And in ARPGs, you want the combat to be fluent, and it just doesn't feel that way in this game. So that causes the biggest part of an ARPG to feel bad, because the biggest part of an ARPG is the combat. It's the skills. It's the killing stuff. Well, for 90% of them, right? And the fact that one of the core features they managed to mess up, well, a few of the core features, the key binds that are just natural, the combat feeling clunky. On top of it, the AI for minions is kind of like the worst. I'm glad they actually attacked right there when I was getting shot, but majority of the time they'll just stand there and just tank hits. This roulette of the deck is just terrible in my opinion. If it was a set deck, or if you could have multiple copies of cards, that would be one thing. But the fact that it's just a random roulette of one of the cards in your deck. It's like it shuffles every time and then draws another card. So it's super stupid in that. I have no idea why they make it like that. I don't know why they wouldn't just make it deterministic. Like, okay, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, right? And then once you're done with all the cards, then it re-rolls. But no, they wanted to go ahead and make sure that it was, that, where did it go? Oh, that it was kind of clunky. As you can see, I'm trying to kill some stuff to show some of the combat, show how clunky it is, how it's not really like interactive or engaging. No, but I can show my super ability. This is one thing that I found really cool. Right? You get that whole kind of super move once you've killed enough enemies, which, I mean, I've always been a fan of that type of system as well. But apart from that, like I said, the combat, I mean, look at this. The combat feels super clunky, and like the AI for minions is terrible. The attack move is terrible. Most of the keybinds are terrible. They don't really make that much sense. And the progression in the game doesn't really make much sense either. The dungeons are bad. So it's kind of depressing. The game had a lot of potential, but they messed up on essentially everything that they could have. Now, I know I didn't try any of the other classes, but with how underwhelming this was, I've seen the gameplay of the other classes, and it's not engaging. So I wanted to go ahead and just make a short video addressing kind of the features in the game and why I wasn't enjoying it, and hopefully in a couple revisiting it in like a couple of months, and when they work some of this stuff out, hopefully it'll feel a lot better. And I mean, going back to it. But if you saw how it came into the spotlight on release, and then pretty much after that it just dropped out, like no one was talking about it anymore, and that's because they really scuffed it. And that's one of the things that kills games, is when you have a scuffed game that gets a little bit of hype and people are willing to try it, but then you hit so many key features wrong that it kind of messes it up for you, and people lose interest in that. So I just wanted to make a short video kind of addressing some of those. You can totally agree or disagree with me, like in the comments and stuff. Tell me how you feel. Maybe that I don't have enough time in the game. I'd say overall, altogether, I want to say I have what, like 8 or 10, maybe more hours in the game. I don't know, maybe more. As well as I did check out like the cash shop, the benefits of that, and so on. And with the prices of the cash shop, it's not really worth using the cash shop. So that's TLDR of the cash shop. And it really it's not really pay to win, because you really don't get anything that's super helpful. So, but I just, like I was saying, I wanted to make this video to go ahead and address why I'm probably not going to cover or go do anything else for this game for a couple of months. You can give it a shot. It is free to play. But I really wouldn't recommend it right now, not until they at least patch something, if they make the gameplay more fluid or they change something. Because right now it's pretty bad. I think there are still people crashing pretty hard sometimes when they're trying to do core things. Like I said, the keybinds are bad, the AI is bad, the combat's unengaging. I mean, so I just wanted to go ahead and address that. If you were thinking about checking it out, I 100% say, hey, go for it. But I just wanted to let you know, don't have overestimations, right? Don't have super high expectations, because they most likely will be crushed. And I don't want anyone to have, like, going into the game like, oh my god, it's going to be amazing. I saw like 2 people say it was a good thing, but they were sponsored. But yeah, no. So don't forget to leave a comment tell me how you feel about the game if you played it, if I just didn't get far enough in it, how you feel altogether. And until next time, until next time, guys, take care.